Welcome to Sound Lab Studios. We are going to be kicking off our top 10 songs series today. And to help us out here, we got Briar's Music Showcase and Nick. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
Well, I must say that it was very hard making this top 10 list for me. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah.
It's my favorite band, so goes without saying.
So, what we're planning on doing the next few weeks, we're going to go back and re-hit the artists we did discography rankings on. We're going to do the top 10 songs of them. We might add in a few discography rankings. I think we're going to be doing the Police pretty soon, but for the most part, we're going to be doing these top 10 videos. So,
Are you gonna join us, Briar? Since you said your
Yeah.
ranking
Yeah.
might change.
Yeah. Probably not. I already did it. So.
I already did it. I talked with Jason, and he said he thinks he'll be able to do that. So,
Oh, that'd be nice.
but Nick, why don't you tell them who we're doing today?
Well, you're right. We are doing Who.
Who?
We're doing the Who. My
Who?
favorite band.
Who? I really want to know.
Come on,
Anyway.
come on. Who?
Anyway, all right. So, how this is going to go, Nick needs to leave a little bit early, so we'll have him do his full top 10, and then Briar and I are going to alternate. So,
Yep. Okay. And my number 10 is gonna be "The Song Is Over." Garrett predicted
Great
I was going to
choice.
pick that one, and he was right. This song is just an adventure the entire way through, and the only reason why it's at number 10 is because I feel like the next 9 are just better.
Mm.
Number 9
Number
is
9.
Armenia, as Briar would say, or as everyone else would say, Armenia
No one's-
City in the Sky.
No one's gonna let me live that down, are they?
That is an amazing opener track. It's just crazy the entire way through. It's just overall just a really great song to open up an album in general, and it's just a hard rocking psychedelic song. It's just it kind of reminds me of like a hard rock song mixed with like psychedelia at the same time.
Mm.
And Pictures of Lilies at number 8. Really enjoy that song. It's just a nice song that tells a story, and I really like it. Number 7, Magic Bus. Another
Live at Leeds version.
You know what? Yeah, I say that the Live at Leeds version.
There you go.
I was thinking about the one from the Magic Bus album, but you're right. I prefer the Live at Leeds version. Number 6, Trick of the Light. Really hard rocking song that opens up side 2 on the Who Are You album. Really great song. Number 5, a quick one. The song While He's Away. Really great song. Amazing. Number 4 would be Tattoo from the Who Sell Out album. Really great. One of the standouts from that album, obviously. Number 3, Sal is Stingy. I really love that song. It's about a guy who is really cheap. He buys all the stuff to protect his money, but he ends up becoming broke. Relax is gonna be my number 2 spot. Really great song. Especially after that goofy little Medak section. It's just a really nice trippy song. I just really enjoy it. For my honorable mentions, the Ox from the Ox and The Kids Are Alright from My Generation, Whiskey Man, and I Need You, and what's another song? Run, Run, Run.
So sad about us.
Those songs from Cowboys and Strings. Nah, I'm kidding. From a quick one.
Oh my goodness, that made my microphone go crazy.
Marianne with the Shaky Hand from the Who Sell It album. Go to the Mirror. Sally Simpson. Welcome. And We're Not Gonna Take It. That's also on my honorable mentions. From the Tommy album. From the Who's next album, Bargain, Love Ain't for Keeping, My Wife, Getting in Tune, and lastly, Won't Get Fooled Again. That is, and Behind Blue Eyes. Those are honorable mentions. Quadrophenia, I'd say Had Enough, Love, Rain or Me. What's another great? Helpless Dancer, Dirty Jobs, and the Real Me, and the title track. Who by Numbers, I'm going to say Slip Kit, uh, Dreaming from the Waist on Down, Imagine a Man, Success Story. They're All in Love, and Blue, Red, and Gray. Uh, those are honorable mentions from there. And from the Who Are You album, I'd say the new song, the title track, and Guitar and Pen, and 905. And as for the last, like, really, really good song from their post Keith Moon stuff, it will be Eminence Front. And that'll be it for me.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. No, my number one spot would be Rael, because it's basically like hinting towards Tommy, but they just do it really well. And it's just, overall, it's just a masterpiece the entire way through. And yeah, that's my top 10 and my honorable mentions.
Cool.
Right.
All right. Thank you for being on the show. You
Yep.
can stay as long as you need, and then just duck out whenever you're ready.
Okay. And yeah, I might just leave.
Cool.
And I'll
Recently.
I'll comment back. I'll be like, oh yeah, great list. Or,
Hey, Mickey, how's it going?
Yeah. Just miss Nick's
He
list.
says that he has been a
yeah,
fan
you missed me. Bye.
since he saw them on their first farewell tour 40 years ago. Wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
cool.
That's amazing. Wow. All right. Well, I knew Nick was going to have an interesting list, and I was right.
Yep. Definitely an interesting list.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to be alternating from back and forth. So I guess we'll start with me, right?
Yes.
All right. So my number 10, and I'm going to be going to the Who by Numbers album. I'm going to go with How Many Friends. Is the second last track on the album. Just a great, just little hard rock number. I mean, this is basically more Pete just kind of reflecting on how fame, how his relationship with fame, and how he thinks people are using him for his money, for his good looks and stuff like that. And of course, you have Roger Daltrey playing the lead vocals, and he does an absolutely spectacular job on here. Again, like I'm pretty sure we mentioned this before when we did the Who ranking. Like Roger Daltrey just does a fantastic job of taking Pete's lyrics and actually really elevating them to a much powerful level. And so I think the best really is reflected on this particular song. But yeah, it's a good one. The chorus is very catchy, and so yeah, that's my number 10.
My favorite line in that song is, "How do you feel in magazine?"
Oh no, that's in They Are All in Love.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that album as much. My number 10 is going to be Behind Blue Eyes from Who's Next. This was intended to be the villain's song, but because the concept album never made, instead it's kind of just a song about a guy who's misunderstood, that everyone thinks he's a bad guy, but he just needs friends and needs some love. I love the acoustic guitar on this song, the singing, and I love the bridge at the end where it gets all fast and rocking before it slows down to another ballad again. So, really great song. My number 10, Behind Blue Eyes.
Cool. Okay, number 9 for me. I'm gonna go to this album. I'm gonna go with the title track, My Generation. I mean, this is one of those songs from the 60s that kind of define that era. Just a very, very heavy song for the time. Again, big standout is, of course, I gotta bring up John Entwistle's bass playing on that one, especially during his soloing during that whole middle section. It's just absolutely incredible. Then you have Roger Daltrey doing this like stuttering style, which is supposed to emulate. He's supposed to be like a mod, like very tripping on ecstasy. So that's kind of why he's stuttering, which is a big thing during that time. And Keith Moon's drumming at the very end, he's just going absolutely all over the place, as he's known for, and even the great power chords that Pete Townsend provides. So yeah, very simple song. It's very short, but it's very powerful, and just again, it really defined that era really well. So that's gonna be my number 9.
Okay, my number 9 is from this album you see behind me. I'm going with Pinball Wizard. This is going to be a good song from the second the first guitar chord strums.
Yeah.
Also, the stereo separation is really good. How you got like the acoustic guitar and then the electric guitar comes in the left channel, and like how the two guitars just interplay with each other. This song was actually created in order for the record to sell better. It wasn't going to be on the album. But then they added a line into the Christmas song about how he was playing pinball, and they added this song because they knew that a famous reviewer that was going to be reviewing the album liked pinball, so they put it on there so that they would get better reviews.
Exactly, yeah.
which is a funny story, but it ended up being, I'm going to say, the second best song on the album because I have another one from this album later on the
Alright.
list.
Oh, cool.
But the vocals, the drumming, it was a really catchy song. It's really great, and it's my number 9.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that one barely missed my top 10. But yeah, so we're on to number 8. I'm gonna go to this album right here. I'm gonna go with "I Can See for Miles," another one of their classics.
That's my number 8 too.
Oh wow, look at that! So yeah, number 8. We both agree there. But yeah, it's absolutely another one of their classics. Again, another one that was pretty heavy for the time, and of course, this would inspire Paul McCartney to create Helter Skelter. And yeah, even to my modern ears, it's not that heavy, but it's still. I mean, it really comes down to Keith's drumming, especially during the especially during that section where it's just building and he's just like really going to town right there, like absolutely spectacular. And the chorus is just such an earworm. Like I always like sing it to myself just every so often because it's just so memorable. But yeah, spectacular song. I don't have much else to add to it, but yeah, number 8. And so yeah, and it's your number 8.
My number 8 is also "I Can See for Miles." Best song on the Sellout album.
Mhm.
Really great guitar on this, really great drumming, great bass playing. For the time, yes, it is a very heavy song. And if you want to hear an even heavier version, check out the single version because the bass and the drums are turned way up, and this is one of those songs that you want to crank to max volume when you're driving in the car. That's actually like where I listen to this album most of the time is in the car.
Nice.
And like turning it up and hearing that thundering bass is like boom, 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 boom. And Daltrey's singing is really good on this one. The guitar solo is really good for being just 2 notes.
Yeah.
It's just like trilling between 2 notes, but it's still really good. This is like, it's just a really thundering and powerful song, and that's why it's my number 8.
Yeah. Okay, so on to number 7. I'm actually gonna go back to the Who by Numbers album, and I'm gonna go with Blue, Red, and Gray. And I talked about it before when we ranked the albums. Like it was just a moment in time where I was just listening to the album and the song came on, and I was just like, oh my god, I'll say it again. I nearly cried listening to it because of just how just hearing the lyrics, because especially when you hear the backstory behind it, it's about how this was kind of Pete this was like during one of Pete's depressive episodes. He was kind of contemplating suicide, and he just wrote this song to kind of help him, make him feel better a little bit. And you can, it was written on a ukulele, so that's why it's on the track. And another thing I really love about the song is also the horns provided by John Entwistle on it. It's just perfectly done. It comes in just naturally. It doesn't feel overblown or anything. It's not in your face. It's just kind of in the background, kind of supporting the ukulele and Pete's vocals throughout. And Pete has said that he didn't really want it on the album because of how personal it is, but I'm kind of glad it is because especially for people who are probably going through a hard time, they can probably put this song on to kind of just feel a little bit better knowing that somebody's feeling the same way. So number 7 is Blue, Red, and Gray for me.
Cool. That's one really thing great about this band is that their bass player is the best bass player of all time, and yet his main instrument ain't even bass.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good use.
My number 7 is Pure and Easy from the Odds and Sods album. This is a very, very deep track, and most of you have probably heard this song as the reprise on The Song Is Over. It's the part that goes, accepting one note, pure and easy. It's a whole song that's an outtake from the sessions from this album. It was released on the Odds and Sods album, which is a compilation album, which might very well be counted as one of their official albums because it was pretty much all new stuff. It was just unreleased outtakes. But the melody is really good. Probably has their best guitar solo. That might just be me speaking, but it's really good. If you haven't listened to Pure and Easy, go have a listen to it because it really should have been on this album. That's going to be my number 7.
All right, nice. Yeah, that's good. That was a good one. Number 6 for me, I'm gonna go to the Who's Sellout album. I'm going to go with the title track itself. Of course, another classic here. Another one of those catchy choruses that you just hear it and you just can't get out of your head. But yeah, there's just so many things going on in this song. You have the synthesizer in here, then you have the again. Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, and then you have piece power chords and the bass playing, and John and like everyone's like all in all cylinders on here, and a good closing song to close the album off, because of course Keith would pass away not long after. So that was definitely a good way for him to go out on that track. But yeah, it's always funny. I like to think that I could be the only one, but I always like to think that this was kind of the first one. Well, obviously there was I can think of other songs before that, but I kind of think this is like one of the precursors of rap almost, because I don't know why. It's just how Roger Daltrey is just singing. Like it sounds like something I hear some kind of rap artist would be doing. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. But again, Roger's just putting the grit into it, which kind of still makes it a rock song. And yeah, and I just love the little soundscape section in the middle of it. That was just like a good yeah, that's just a good little moment of time, and then it just goes back into the thing with the drums. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just another great song. And so yeah, that's my number 6.
Have you been looking at my list?
Oh,
my number 6 is also Who Are You? So yes, this is a very good swan song for Keith. He has expressed that he was having trouble drumming along to this album because of health issues. But this song, if you watch the studio footage of them recording this song, it's almost like he's not sick at all. He has like the headphones taped to his head, and he's just smiling real big and going ham on the drums. It's probably the biggest earworm in their entire catalog, because you'll just be going throughout your day, and then for some weird reason it just pops in your head. Who are you? Who? The guitar, the piano, oh my goodness, the vocals on this one, just really good. Number 6. Who Are You?
Right. I just see Mickey's comment. Maybe he inspired Geddy Lee to do his rapping on Rock Roll the Bones.
I still need to listen to 90s Rush. I stopped at Signals, so I need to keep listening to them.
Yeah. To give you a heads up on Roll Your Bones, it's not one of my favorites. There's still some good stuff on it, but it's like definitely not one of the weaker ones in my opinion.
Are there any good Rush albums after Signals? Is my question.
It's gonna depend on you, because I like some of the later 80s stuff. Like because I do like Hold Your Fire. That even though a lot of people don't like Hold Your Fire, I kind of like it. I think Counterparts is pretty good. It's pretty heavy. And then even their last album, Clockwork Angels, I think
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I think that was a good one. I think that was a good one they went out with. All right, so let's continue on. So my next three are on the same album, and they're all from this album right here that Garrett has as well. Yeah, so
it's a good album.
Yeah, no. But yeah, number 5 for me, and Garrett's already mentioned this one earlier. I'm going to go with Behind Blue Eyes. Like pretty much summed it up. Yeah, it's just another great like.
I like how you Mickey.
Yeah. Grace Under Pressure. Grace Under Pressure is a good one too. Yeah, that's worth one. Snakes and Arrows I wasn't too big on, but Grace Under Pressure is pretty good. But yeah, another one that kind of starts out like a slow ballad. Again, the acoustic guitar is just great on the track, and again, Roger Daltrey is giving a great vocal performance here. And it's funny enough, from what I've heard, like when he recorded his vocals, his dog passed away the same day, and his dog also had blue eyes, so that kind of
really.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I think Roger said in an interview that's what he did. That's what happened. So you kind of, that's why you really do hear that sadness in his voice in the song, which really helps the mood. But yeah, like Garrett said, towards the end, it really picks up. It starts to rock out. It starts to really rock out, and then it goes back into the slower part at the very end, which is just a really well crafted song. So that's my number 5.
So I have a funny story with this song, because I love this song so much, and I heard that Limp Bizkit did a horrible cover
Oh
of this
yeah,
song. I'm like, I'm never
yeah.
listening to that. Well, I got curious. I shouldn't have, and so I listened to it. And
Mm,
A, they added a verse, and the lyrics, their added verse are terrible.
yeah,
B, they replaced the rocking bridge with a speak and spell, spelling out the name of the band, and I'm like, this is
yeah.
trash.
I know. Yeah, just absolutely terrible.
I'm just gonna pretend now like that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's probably the best for the best.
Yeah. Um, oh wow, we're up to number 5 now. My
Yeah.
number 5 is also from that album back there. It's "Go to the Mirror Boy" from Tommy. Best song on that album, in my opinion. It's in the story. It's the doctor telling the parents that like his condition isn't really. It's like all in his head. So it's really rocking. I love the guitar riff. I love how they use the "See Me, Feel Me" as the chorus, and I like how they use the "Listening to You" in the bridge.
Hmm.
And I was looking something up, and apparently Jack Nicholson sings this in the movie, and I played a
Oh
few
yeah.
seconds of that, and I'm like, nope, because it's my favorite song on this album. I played just a few seconds. A, like they changed the style of it, and B, like as soon as he comes in, he like just speaking it. I'm like, nope, 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 because like nobody else can sing that song like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I did see the Tommy movie one time. It's definitely a trip.
I do not want to see it because I think it's going to ruin the album for me.
Yeah. To me, it didn't really ruin the album. It just kind of made me appreciate the album way more.
Mm.
Mm. But yeah.
But anyway, I have loved that song ever since I heard the theme played in the overture. It's like it got to the overture and it went bum ba bum 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 ba dum bum bum bum. I'm like, what's this song? I can't wait till we get to that song on the album. So anyway, number 5, "Go to the Mirror Boy."
Cool. All right, so like I said, we're still on this album. I'm gonna go with for my number 4. I'm gonna go with Baba O'Reilly. So again, the song that starts it off, just a great opening track. Again, one of the great opening tracks to any album ever, with that iconic synth line, which is kind of it's always funny. Like sometimes I'll see reaction videos to Baba O'Reilly, and funny enough, there are many people who complain that the intro is way too long. They don't get it though, because it's because I just love it. It's because you can tell it's just building to something, and by
Yeah.
the time the first chord comes in, the first piano chord comes in, then you're like, oh my god, something's really now it's really gonna get good. Like it's like a reward after listening to that. You just get the whole song right from then on. Again, so yeah, it's not what has not been said about the song. Again, you have that great like chorus and all that, and even the violin solo at the very end, which is also spectacular. But yeah, not much else to say, but it's a classic, so that's my number 4.
My number 4 is from the same album. It's "The Song Is Over." It's the last song on the first side. When I first heard this, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard. This is one of Moon's best drumming songs is on this song. The vocals, how kind of Pete sings the verses and then Daltrey comes in on the chorus. For the album, it was supposed to be the closing song for Lifehouse. But if you take it in the context of just the album, it's a breakup song. Kind of how the song is kind of equating to his love, and even though the relationship is over, he wants to keep singing his song. It's amazing. Employs synthesizers really well, like the piano by Nicky Hopkins. Number 4, "The Song Is Over."
Nice. Yeah. All right. And funny enough, number 3, "The Song Is Over" for me as well. Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. Like again, I just love this slow piano led with Pete Townsend on vocals, and then you have Roger Daltrey doing the more rocking chorus of it, which is just you just have this nice little counterbalance between those two. But yeah, and even you've also mentioned before, like at the very end, it has the pure and easy bit to it, which is just a nice little way to close the song off. But yeah, it's a beautiful song, one of the best songs on Who's Next, and Yeah, I absolutely love it. But there's one other song off this album that's we'll talk later. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
My
Mm.
number 3 is Love Rain O'er Me from Quadrophenia. Um, this song definitely deserves to be number 1. It's just there's 2 better songs, if you can even believe that.
Mm.
But it starts off with like thunder and rain. Well, you got to put it into the context of the album to really appreciate it. The story of this album, which I still need to get. um, there's this young kid in the 1960s who's got a split personality. Instead of bipolar, he's got a four-way split personality, and each of his 4 personalities is described by a theme, a musical theme that is each represented by one of the 4 members of the band. And throughout this album, you'll get all these instrumental passages that like will play these 4 musical themes depending on how he's feeling. And as you go through the album, each of the 4 musical themes becomes their own song. The Bellboy song is Moon's theme. Helpless Dancer is Daltrey's theme. Is It Me is Entwistle's theme, and Love Rain O'er Me, this song, is Pete's theme. And right, what's happening in this story is he just saw. He's like, man, I got to think through how to describe this because it's a very complicated album. But he, what's the best way to say this? I'm sorry, folks.
I like the picture that he's like near a cliff or something, watching the ocean.
He's really angsty. He can't get a job, and he just witnessed that his girlfriend decides that she likes his best friend better than him.
Mhm.
So he decides that he's going to make a break for the beach to see if he can find himself.
Yeah.
And while he's there, he runs into an old friend who he used to be in a gang with, and his friend, who used to be the gang leader, ends up getting a steady job as a bellboy. So
Mhm.
since like he's still angsty and young, he steals a boat, goes out on the ocean, and a rainstorm happens, and he almost gets in a wreck, almost dies, goes on a rock, and realizes that instead of being angsty, he wants to have love instead. And so that's
Mhm.
kind of the story of this song.
Yeah.
And it starts out with what happens right before is this song has all 4 of the themes playing separately and then all together at once, kind of showing all the personalities becoming one.
Mhm.
And then you get this song. There's like rain, thunder, lightning, and you get this really crazy piano intro, and then like this the cymbal, and then the synthesizer comes in, do 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 do, and then oh my goodness, the vocals.
Oh yeah.
One of the best vocal performances by Daltrey here. And the very last love that he screams, so good, and then the drums, and then like he literally kicked over his drum set at the end to get a good sound at the end. Like you can hear him kicking over his drum set at the end. Anyway, perfect way to end this album, and my number 3 song.
Well, Garrett, you keep stealing my thunder because my number 2 is gonna be "Love Rain Over Me." I mean, you pretty much summed it up again. Like another one of the great closing tracks from the Who. Although there is one that will top this one.
Yeah.
But just arguably Roger's best vocal performance ever on any Who track. He's just like pouring everything out into this one. He's just really giving it his all in this one, especially when he's screaming love. It's just absolutely it's absolutely breathtaking. And again, the synthesizers in the beginning just really sets the tone, especially with the rain in the very beginning as well. Even Pete's guitar work on here is just absolutely really good. Like some of the solos he does on here is just really melodic, very emotional sounding. Again, even John Entwistle's bass is also prominent, and like you've already mentioned, like about Keith's drumming. Keith's drumming is just absolutely powerful, especially towards the very end. But yeah, absolutely adore this song. Love it so much. My number 2. But yeah, there's one more after this.
My number 2 is going to be Baba O'Reilly. It was the first song I ever heard by them. This album. Not I didn't listen to the album, I just listened to the song because for some reason like I decided to listen to the song. The synthesizer hooked me in as soon as I heard it. Those weird synth sounds, it's like, what in the world is this? And you're hooked. And then comes the chords. boom, 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 and then the drums. It's just really cool. And then Daltrey comes in thundering with his vocals. I mean, it seems like all of their opening and closing tracks are amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
But you get that cool violin solo at the end, short melodic guitar solo. It's amazing, and it's my number 2.
Mm.
So now you can say some honorable mentions.
All right. So we were kind of discussing that especially for the Who, there's a ton of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Nick's honorable mention list, so luckily mine's a bit shorter than that. So these are in no order, but I'm just going to go down the list here. So I have The Kids Are All Right. I'm a Boy, which is a single. I really enjoyed that one. Pinball Wizard, I Can't Explain. Substitute, The Real Me, Cut My Hair. They Are All in Love. Eminence Front. And then my last 2 are going to be a quick one, While He's Away, and Boris the Spider.
So my honorable mentions list might be longer than some bands' discography. To accommodate for time, I'm just going to merely list the titles. My Generation, The Kids Are All Right, I Can't Explain, Happy Jack, Boris the Spider, So Sad About Us, Armenia City in the Sky, Our Love Was, Is, I Can't Reach You, Silas Stingy, Sunrise, Rael, Tommy Overture 1921, Amazing Journey / Sparks, Christmas, Cousin Kevin, Smash the Mirror, See Me Feel Me, Magic Bus live version, Bargain, My Wife, Getting in Tune, The Real Me, Helpless Dancer, Bellboy, Long Live Rock, Put the Money Down, Blue, Red, and Gray, Success Story, New Song 905, Sister Disco, Guitar and Pen, Love is Coming Down, The Seeker, Substitute, The Ox, and Eminence Front.
Very cool. All right. So I guess we're unveiling the number 1. And I think we have the same number 1, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be Won't Get Fooled Again. I mean, to me, like I said this many times before, but to me, Won't Get Fooled Again defines what rock.
Glasses off moment.
Yeah, that defines what rock music is to me. Again, everything just comes together all at once. It's just absolutely, they all mesh really well. John Entwistle's bass playing, especially during the chorus, if you listen carefully to that bass line, it's just absolutely incredible. Like I can never do it like that, like how he does it. And you have Pete Townshend's his powerful power chords, and again another one of Keith's greatest drum performances on the song, and of course the Roger's vocals, especially of course we all know that Garrett just did a great impersonation of the iconic Scream.
No.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to actually attempt it, because if I did, it would blow the microphone out, and I would probably do it very poorly.
Yes, yeah, you're good. But yeah, that's just like everything. This whole song's just building to the Scream, and it's just like absolutely iconic. Like you hear it everywhere. You see it even on TV themes like CIA, CSI, actually, sorry, CSI. But yeah, another one where there's really not much else to be said. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, so it had to be number 1. So Won't Get Fooled Again, and I'll let Garrett talk about it for a little bit.
My number 1 is Do You Think It's All Right to Leave the Boy with Uncle Ernie? No. My number 1 is Won't Get Fooled Again. It is the perfect way to close this amazing album. This is one of my top 10 albums of all time. Opens up perfectly with Baba O'Riley and then closes perfectly with this song. Again, with the synthesizer and the organ at the beginning, really hooks you in. 8 minutes and 30 seconds long, and honestly, the single version butchers this. So if you try to listen to the single version, you're like, something is off here, and the single version feels like 1 minute long, and this does not feel like 8 minutes long. All the instrumental passages, the crazy drumming, the keyboards, how they kind of like, it gets really, that's what's really great about this band is their dynamic capability, because like most people are like, oh yeah, they're like one of the loudest bands ever. Well, it's dynamics. They're one of the loudest bands ever because that's what they crescendo to. They start out really quietly with her. And then like the guitar comes in, and then the bass, and the bass line is crazy on this song.
Yeah.
Crazy
Oh
drumming.
yeah.
And my favorite part of this song is whenever it gets quiet again and it has the keyboard playing for a longer amount of time. And then you get the drum feels like the that's my favorite part of the song.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's really great. That's definitely my number one.
Awesome.
Cool. Mickey has put his top 10. I'm gonna put the comment up there so you guys can see it.
Okay. Pretty good list. Some good songs there.
Oh, Drowned. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching today. If you'll join us next week, we're going to have our possibly, I'm going to have to talk it out, but we may possibly have our Steely Dan top 10 songs next week. So see you later.
See ya.